So is Europe teetering on the brink? That's our next question. The leaders of France, Germany and Greece are due to hold talks this evening in an attempt to prevent the government in Athens defaulting on its debt payments. EU officials have warned that if Greece goes, then the euro goes, and if the euro goes, there'll be dramatic effects for the rest of Europe. So the West Midlands MEP Nikki Sinclaire, she's long campaigned against the European Union despite being an MEP. She joins me now from Strasbourg. Hi, Nikki.
Good afternoon.
What do you make of this then?
Well, unfortunately it's predictable, and I remember in the late 90s being called a little European. We had no foresight that this was going to be a magical thing for the European Union, and they've built a house without any proper foundations. Arguing over the colour of the curtains rather than looking at the essential necessity of the foundations of this house. It's a political project, not a financial project. I mean, most countries bodge the criteria, the joining criteria, including Germany, but it's just nonsense to think that you have a huge powerhouse such as Germany that can be treated equally with a country such as Greece. They're very different countries, and this one-size-fits-all approach that the European Union has simply doesn't work.
Yeah,
and it's led into this financial disaster.
You've campaigned long and hard against the European Union. You'll shed no tears, will you, if the euro goes and Europe follows?
Well, I will shed some tears. The fact of the loss of money that it's going to cost British taxpayers, and it will. This is going to be tough medicine for us and the rest of Europe. I mean, as well as even just being costing us £48 million a day to be a member of this club. This is going to be difficult because we've had generations of politicians who have basically sold the British electorate a lie, saying that this was jam tomorrow, and it's never proven to be jam. I'll just give you one example of in Coventry. The Peugeot Ryton plant, which was closed down because the European Union subsidised the Slovakian plant, and it took jobs out of Coventry, jobs that Coventry, badly need. And it's just not working. It's not working for the UK, and it's not even working for the European Union itself. The people of Greece are writing, they're burning EU flags, they're drawing swastikas over EU flags. The European leaders, Angela Merkel in particular, she's in charge of the Eurozone, in effect. She needs to take a strong decision. Either she goes down the political route and ignore the reality, and it's a bit like your credit card statement. You over your head in a credit card statement, and you have a friend lending you money, but ultimately you're going to have to pay it back because the interest builds up and builds up and builds up.
Nikki, did I just hear you right? The people of Greece are right, painting swastikas over the Euro flag.
Yes, there's been examples of that. They're burning EU flags.
That's good.
And they're also drawing swastikas. I mean, that's not the first time. The Polish people
have support that behaviour, do you?
Well, look, I totally don't support anything with a swastika on. But what they're actually talking about is the European Union is a new form of fascism or communism, because it's a removal from democratic control. And look, the people of Greece now no longer control Greece. Greece is run by the European Commission, the European Central Bank, and the IMF. Those are the three organisations that turn up at Greece and tell the Greek government what to do, what austerity measures to put in place. And you've got Cyprus, who have recently had their credit rating downgraded twice. You've got Spain on the brink. You've had Berlusconi in Italy having to ignore some of the measures, and he's been penalised for that.
Okay.
Across the southern European Union, debts are mounting up, and it's going to cost the British taxpayers money. We need to end this madness and say no, finally, to the European Union.
Let's bring it closer to home, shall we? Mm-hmm. Europe is the biggest customer for many of our firms in Coventry and Warwickshire, where I'm speaking from this evening. If the euro fails and Europe goes, it's going to be very bad news for the people you represent.
That's actually not true, because what the European Union very cleverly do with their figures, most exports that go outside the European Union go through the shipping port in Holland, yes? Mm-hmm. And therefore it counts as an import to Holland. Or it's not. It could be on its way to India, for example. So that's how the figures are skewed with the European Union. We do 58% of our trade with the European Union, but most of that trade is actually what we purchase from the European. You only have to look at the products on sale in the shop. It's German products, French products. What cars are driven? The German-made cars. I'll give you an example about Peugeot being relocated to Slovakia. What are these products that we're selling them? It's not true. The figures are skewed. We are actually losing money and jobs to the European Union on a daily basis.
Can you really see Germany going back to the Deutschmark? Or let's start at the beginning, Greece going back to the Drachmark?
Well, I don't think that actually there's no real financial choice for Greece. I think they're going to have to go back to Drachmark. It's only a matter of time. It's the credit card statement scenario. And, there's people that know who've been in that situation with credit cards in the past. It comes to get you in the end. And that's where Greece are. The European Union is a political project, and what will happen is that the politicians, the bureaucrats, are going to do everything to keep their political union alive. But, you can't fight against market sources and the market reality of this. And I think that the Greece will leave it. And you have growing resentment in Germany. And Germany, I talk about how much the European Union costs the UK, but it costs the German citizens far more than it does the UK citizen.
Okay.
And they're resenting it. And you're getting Angela Merkel facing a huge backlash. She didn't do well in recent elections, and she's facing it. And that's what she's facing at the moment. She's facing an angry electorate who are sick and tired of bailing out the European Union, as I'm sure every member, a huge part of the UK population are.
Quickly in a sentence, and it's got to be a sentence, is the euro finished?
Yes, I think it is.
Nikki Sinclaire, thank you for joining us on BBC Coventry and Warwickshire.